All right. A little unscheduled live stream. I'm going to start live streaming a little bit more. And I might just live stream when I feel like it. So today, hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. Not usually live on a Wednesday. Doing it. Might be live on the Wednesdays going forward, though. Let's talk about Woodshed 2027. Let's talk about the Helicasters. Let's talk about John Jorgensen. We'll be doing a live masterclass tonight on Patreon. It's going to be on a Zoom call. And as always, Wednesdays, Zoom calls, Patreon, exclusive live masterclass. Maybe I teach you some of this stuff tonight. Some of my favorite Helicasters, John Jorgensen licks. Yeah, man. Let's start off. Okay. A couple of good ones. Which one's first? What about that goes, there's a harmony part on this one. So it hits, it goes up. I remember it now. Right, and I think Will Ray played a high part, like maybe the Highland Boogie or the Highlander Boogie, or something like that, off of the first record, The Return of the Helicasters. Another really great one that was on his instructional video was the Easter Island Heads, and he had a really long intro. It was like some kind of, maybe start here. It had a really long intro with a lot of stuff, but the tune was cool. Kind of went like this. I'm paraphrasing. I'm pulling this off from memory. So a fun tune there. Both of them both have that kind of shuffle thing, moving and shaking that I like. Let me tell you some history about my fandemonium with the Helicasters. I was coming out of playing bluegrass, and I discovered this record, and it was like a retro horror movie cover with a girl really terrified on the front, and it said The Return of the Helicasters. And I was like, man, The Return. What's the first record? And then I realized it was a bit of an inside joke. There was no first record. The Return of the Helicasters was the first record. And it was Will Ray, John Jorgensen, and Jerry Donahue. And I immediately fell in love with a certain tone that I kept hearing on the record. And I was like, man, whoever that guy is, that's my guy right there. And it was Jorgensen. Jorgensen had a sound that I really loved. And it was Telecaster into a matchless, overdriven, pushed kind of tones. And it really resonated with me to the point where it was like really fundamental to the kind of albums that I make and the kind of art that I make, where it's like, southern rock instrumental fusion-y stuff. And the Helicasters record, specifically Jorgensen sound, I seeked out that instrumental guitar instructional album that Jorgensen did, and it had the Easter Island heads on it. And it was just, man, I was just like, God, this guy is the coolest. He just sounds so cool. And then I found out that he had done a lot of sessions in Nashville. He had also played with Elton John and done all kinds of really cool stuff as a hired gun. And I thought that was neat. It's something I wanted to do when I grew up, kind of thing. And I remember saving up my dollar paper, and I bought a John Jorgensen signature Helicaster. And it was a gold sparkle, kind of like a bowling ball, like a bass boat kind of thing. Gold sparkle, really over the top kind of guitar. And that was so cool to have that. I was just such a fan, and still am to this day. I'm such a John Jorgensen fan. And I'm telling you all this because he's going to be at Woodshed, the Woodshed Guitar Experience out here in Tennessee in August. So I want to pull up here the schedule that I've got for Woodshed, and I just wanted to go over it with you guys and kind of talk to you about our schedule here. We've got a logo on it looking all slick. And I just wanted to kind of go over it with you guys. Sometimes I get messages and emails for folks not realizing what Woodshed is and what all your attendance gets you. The TLDR version is it's a 4-day event. You check in on a Thursday and you leave on a Sunday. And I want to walk through the schedule on what all it is that you get included. So obviously you get your accommodations, whether that be a camping or you want to rent an RV or you want to be in one of our on-property cabins. There's a lot of different ways you can stay on property. All of your food is included. All of your alcohol is included. So, if you just take a 4-day weekend and you go somewhere and you buy a hotel and you eat and drink all weekend, then you add in like one singular concert that you would go to, we're already competitively priced, much less all the events that I'm going to walk through on the schedule. So for those that are bored by this kind of thing, don't feel obligated to watch. I'm not trying to hold anybody hostage, but I've had enough emails and enough questions to validate what I'm about to do, which is just go through the schedule. So on Thursday at 2 p.m., the guests can start checking into the property. It's a lakefront property, and you get checked into your cabin, you get settled, you can wander around the property. We're going to have vendors there, all kinds of different stuff you can check out as far as different manufacturers bringing pedals and guitars and amps and everything you can imagine. Dave Friedman's going to be on property. Joe Wyatt, who is the channel Passion for Tone. Joe Wyatt is the sponsor of our Wattage Cottage. He is a valued lieutenant on the team and does so much for us. And Joe's a dear friend, and he and I just genuinely love guitar. We genuinely want to create an experience for people to always remember. And Joe hosts the Wattage Cottage. And what the Wattage Cottage is a corner of Woodshed in one of the cabins that we give to him, and he sets up all these amps, freaking 50 or 60 amps. It's crazy. Like, the amount of amps he brings is bananas. So if you ever want to play a SLO 100 at full tilt, you could do it. Friedman's, everything you can imagine, Fender stuff, Marshalls, Bogner's, all of it, like literally everything you can imagine. And Joe sets it all up in the Wattage Cottage, and it's great. It's a hang, man. It is a delightful hang. So when you check in on when you check in on Thursday, you can start enjoying all of those amenities of the camp and the property, and some of the things that are exclusive to Woodshed that you can't get anywhere else. It makes me smile because I'm really proud of these things, because these are things that nobody else does. So like, we own that. At 4 p.m., weather permitting, something that we're going to start this year is Picking on the Green. The reason I call it that is my granddad used to take me to Asheville. It took me and my cousin to Asheville, North Carolina on Saturdays. And they had a bluegrass jam session called Picking on the Green. And that's what we're going to do from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. A lot of people have been getting into bluegrass and have been expressed to me wanting an opportunity to have some jamming and some bluegrass picking. So weather permitting, Thursday 4 to 5, you're going to have Picking on the Green. From 5 to 6, you'll have our cocktail hour and meet and greet. So you'll be able to shake hands with the artist and meet and hang out and tell some stories and have some fellowship and really break the ice before lessons and concerts and the velocity of the event kicks up. From 7:30 to 9:30, we have the opening ceremonies hosted by yours truly and the bluegrass concert. Every year we have different bluegrass players come in and make special guest appearances. And I'm hoping that we have a very special guest that shows up this year that I'm not going to spoil. But the bluegrass concert is awesome. And Daniel Kimbrough, my dear friend Daniel Kimbrough and Eli Bishop, always house musicians on that. It's killer. From 10 to 12, we have this is 10 p.m., 12 p.m. on Thursday, so you're already really getting a big day. 10 to 12, we have our Camper Jam. Camper Jam has its own jam stage. That means the campers can jam with each other. They can jam with us, the house band, the musicians, the guest artists, all this kind of stuff. Friday, full tilt, bright and early, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. We have breakfast, 8:45 to 9:30. We have Group A, and that will be with John Jorgensen, and Group B will be with Greg Koch. We split the attendees in half, and then we have half of you go with one, half of you go with the other. And then we, from 9:45 to 10:30, Group A, who was previously with Jorgensen, will now go with Eric Gales. Group B, who was previously with Greg Koch, will now go with Justin Derrico. And then at 10:45 to 11:45, we have Board Build with XTS. This is going to be killer, man. They're going to build a board and do a Q&A. I'm going to host a panel with Barry, and we're going to do the board build in real time in front of you guys, which is going to be killer. From noon to 1, lunch. From 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., Amp Hour hosted by Joe Wyatt at the Wattage Cottage. There's another opportunity to go over there and just have time to let your food digest, do some picking and jamming and checking out the amps. 2:15, Group A will be with me. Group B will go with Martin Miller. 3:15 to 4:15, we're going to have a right hand technique. So this is like picking. You guys want right hand technique lesson? I got Justin Derrico, Martin Miller, and myself. We're going to do a master seminar on that. 4:30 to 5:30, Helicasting. This is acoustic, electric, and beyond with John Jorgensen, hosted by me. So basically, I'll just be having the microphone and running it back and forth. I might play rhythm for John or something if he wants to do something like that. Who knows? Maybe I could talk him into playing one of these tunes, Highland Boogie or Easter Island Heads or something. But yeah, I just thought it'd be great to have John just give us a retrospective and how he took his music across all these different lanes. And John is an incredible mandolin player. He's an incredible clarinet player. Like, the dude can kind of do everything. Pretty unbelievable. 5:45 to 6:45 dinner. 7:45 to 10 p.m. Concert. This is the covers concert. One of my rules, and since it's my party, I get to make some rules. One of my rules is we all choose covers and we're not allowed to rehearse them to death. Maybe get a run through a line check and that's it, right? So we jam, and it's important for the campers and the attendees to see these mutant level players have to shoot from the hip and not, because oftentimes when we see bands like Big Wreck or Eric Johnson or whatever, everything's well rehearsed and they're on show 15 of a 22 date tour. So it's one of the things I like to do, throw a little curveball at you on Friday night, and this is the concert with the covers. 10:15 till whenever, the Camper Artist Mixture Jam. So the Camper Jam, get to jam with myself, Martin Miller, and whoever. Really great times, man. Some of the craziest times of my life is like looking on stage and seeing people jam with Robin Ford or Brent Mason or whatever. It's wild. Saturday, we kick off bright and early, 7:30 to 8:30. Breakfast, 8:45 to 9:30, Group A will be with Greg Koch. Group B will be with John Jorgensen. So you see how we like to invert things. 9:45 to 10:30, Group A, Justin Derrico. Group B, Eric Gales. 10:45 to 11:45, my good friend Denon. Denon Slage is the head of the UT Jazz program, or one of the heads over there. And he's going to do a chord melody session for you guys. I think it's going to be great. 12 to 1, we're going to be adjusting some of these time frames in this group, in this area. We're going to have my good friend and a guy I've been studying Bach with, which is Rob Capoletto, and that's fretboard geometry. He's going to have the opportunity to teach us fretboard geometry and how that pertains to improvisation from a jam, jazz environment, all the way to how the fretboard geometry translates to Bach and those kind of things. And then we're going to squeeze in a Ben Eller session. Uncle Ben's going to be right there. And then we're going to be going into our groups, our main groups. Martin Miller will be teaching, while Group B will come with me at the other side, and then that inverts, and now everybody that's in attending has had a lesson with all 6 of our artists, so a small group lesson. 3:15 to 4:15, improvisation with Greg Koch and Eric Gales. Those guys teaching an improvisation class is gonna be sick. I'm going to be hosting it. Again, I'll be on microphone duties. Maybe I'll play some rhythm for them. Who knows? 4:30 to 5:30, The Guitarist War Chest, a deep dive into the tools used by the pros. I think this is sick. Hosted by Dave Friedman and Joe Glazer, which is unbelievable. Joe Glazer invented the B-bender system that so many people use. Glazer Instruments right there in Nashville, Tennessee. And then, of course, Dave Friedman, brother, Dave Friedman. So after that, we have dinner, and then we're into our concert portion of the evening. This will be the concert night where everybody plays their signature tunes, right? It's like Eric Johnson plays Manhattan and that kind of thing, right? It's like that kind of thing. 10:15 till whenever, the wee hours of the morning, we party hard. It is incredible. It's such a great party. And then the campers and the artists all get together and jam again. This is such a highlight for me. Come 10 o'clock, concert's done. We all take it from one stage. We go up to the other stage. And I can't take enough time to brag on Dylan, Ella, John McCready, John Cooper, Roger, Jim Hoffman, Joe Wyatt, all the people involved with our production that allow us to kind of do this thing where while everybody's over here, stuff is going on over here. And we kind of invert the whole thing the whole time. It's really some magic that can only be done by this amazing team that I have that helped me put this on. So yeah, shout out and flowers and love to everyone. You know who you are. You know who you are, who helps me put this together. And that is Saturday night into the wee hours of Sunday morning. Sunday morning, we have our morning breakfast and brunch and some things that I can't talk about because we do some things. We do some things. We might give away some stuff. That's all I can say. And then we're going to have Hired Man to Main Man. This is going to be Eric Gales, Justin, me, just a mixed bag of everyone. What it's like to be on the session side, the touring side, the hired gun side, like Justin playing with Pink, for example, or Eric playing on some of his gigs where he's the hired gun. And then what it's like to switch and be the main artist. So I think this is going to be a really good topic. And it's a great look at how you shift your workflow and how you delegate what you use and the gear you use to tailor it to each environment. I think it's going to be a really special session. And then 10 o'clock to 11, we're going to have Tales from the Road hosted by me. And that's everyone. That's an all-skate event. And then that's really fun. There's been some of the funniest freaking stories I've ever heard. Greg Koch talking about a certain Fender event in Europe that was unbelievably funny. And then there was Mark Lettieri telling a story about a cruise ship that they did. I think it was with Snarky Puppy, and they got into some... I forget where they were playing. So, yeah, but anyways, there's certain countries where if you're not accustomed to it, you don't drink the water and get your stomach into a very colorful situation. Well, everybody got a very colorful situation. They're trying to do a gig, and he's telling this hilarious story. He looks over at the trumpet player, and the trumpeter's just just like, please God, no. Anyways, it's really, really great. Tales from the Road is one of the last things we do, and then we do some other things that I can't really talk about. We're giving away some things, and then we'll do our farewell. So that's a full overview for a 35,000 foot view of what Woodshed is. From the moment you get there Thursday, and then from the moment you leave on Sunday. So I just wanted to go live today, and I'm going to start doing more of these little impromptu live streams, just to kind of throw some Q&A. And I'm noticing that a lot of the question and answer stuff, I don't have time to answer in one stream. So I thought it might be cool to give people opportunities to show back up in second streams and hopefully get their questions answered. I feel like Merry and Pippin from Lord of the Rings. We've had first stream. Yeah, well, what about second stream? What about 11sies and noonsies? What about high tea, right? So we're going to be doing some more of these. No, Woodshed does not offer recordings. And here's the thing. We are very self-aware. Chuck is hitting the questions down there in the chat. And we're self-aware that a lot of you guys want recordings or the abilities to live stream. Now, I would love to offer that. And it's not that the technology doesn't exist. However, if you pay your hard-earned money paper to join us at our event, we want to make sure that you're getting a VIP exclusive environment. And so that means if it's live streamed, everybody can just watch it, and you're not getting a very VIP experience. So until we figure out how to balance that on the scales of value and customer appreciation, we're not going to offer it. I'm not saying that that's a permanent thing, but until we figure out the right way to do it, we're not going to do it. I think that's just an ethos for me. It's like I want to make sure that if I'm doing something, that it's done with the right intentions and the right heart behind it, to make sure that people are getting their value worth. I don't mind when something is expensive if it's a worthy product. Let's say a diesel amplifier. That's not for beginners. That's not for guys that are like, I want my first amp. That's a very, very serious machine over there. And if I'm not mistaken, these things are like $4,300, and or they were back 15 years ago when I bought that one. I want to enjoy that, and I don't mind that it's expensive because it gives me that experience and that quality. I don't want to pay $4,300 and get something that sounds like a microcube. I love a microcube. I'm not hating on the microcube. I'm just saying we're dealing with apples and bicycles, right? So much like that, recordings don't offer the same level of quality as being in the room offers. And live stream doesn't offer the same level of being in the room experience that it is when you're there. So until we and the team at Woodshed figure out how to navigate some of that stuff and make sure that everyone is getting a customer forward experience, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna half-ass it. That's just really all it boils down to. So just a little shooting from the hip on the behind the scenes of how the sausage is made and the reasoning why. And for those that are in our masterclass and our Patreon, you kind of get that. You see how I like to operate. I like to be very transparent. I like to be very in the moment. I don't do a pre-baked sale. It's like I don't do that. I'm very much in the moment kind of guy. And I think that just offers a wonderful experience that people can't replicate and it can't be downloaded. We're living in an era of AI. So what is immune to AI? The live experience, right? So that's what we try to offer. Bucket list event. Harlan Harvey 76 says bucket list event. Let me just throw a discount at you. I used this discount yesterday. We're going to use it today too. A-Wood 300. This is going to be a limited discount, and I genuinely reserve it for when I do a in-person clinic or something like that. And what probably will happen is we'll have to notch this out of the live stream for like re-watching, because we can't offer that discount all the time. But if you sign up and you're in this live stream and you get this code of AWOOD300, it's going to save you $300 off of your purchase. We have very limited slots available left. I'm not even sure what's available. That's not my side of the business. The total attendance is limited to 100. So there are some slots left, and we'd love to have you, and that's the discount we're going to offer. And then we'll move from there. I'm going to hit some questions here. Ingenuity says, Andy, you ever going to tour the West Coast? I'm in Utah. Would travel to Vegas or Colorado to come see you play. Working on that for 2027. Tours there's things. We're moving. We're doing. T-Bone 4186. My man, I caught one of your streams. Headed to the guitar shop in Paoa, Hawaii. For work. Man, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. I love Hawaii. It's amazing. I've been several times, and I can't wait to come back. Brian Robinette says, sir, do you sell tabs for The Truth and the Lie? I do. They're on andywoodmusic.com. And if you get any one of the patches for the Fractal or the different modelers, it's like an A Wood lead or something like that. That's kind of the tone that I have kicked up for that. So, yeah, Truth and Lie is a good tune. It's got an interesting head to it. It's a lot of fourths. So when you play in the tune, I need to adjust this bar with a little bit of a Allen wrench. I have to do it, I guess, here in a second. When I'm playing the tune of Truth and Lie, I'll walk you through how I use the right hand, because this doesn't translate to tab. The tabs are for sale. Here's how I do the right hand. It's down, up, down, middle, down. So that's what makes Truth and Lie work. Down, up, down, middle, down. So that's the Truth and the Lie thing. You move it in fourths. That's how it works. We played it yesterday. Let me show you how that works in context. Played that tune yesterday. It was fun. If I can find it. If I can find it in my backing tracks. Yeah. So down, up, down, middle finger down. Something like that. Who knows? Yeah, just a little blast through that. I always like playing that because it's just a free-for-all on that solo section. Can we get Shades of Grey today? I haven't played that in forever. I don't even know if it'd sound good. I'll try it. I don't remember the form to the tune. Do I proofread it? Or do I check it without, do I not check my homework? I mean, like, I don't remember how it goes. Put me on the spot with this. I don't think I remember it, guys. I'll try it. Look, if this sucks, I'm sorry. right, cool. By request something, I don't know. I need to play that one a little more, I haven't played it very much, and it's a pretty tune. I like that B section. All right, yeah. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me. A couple of things, a little bit of housekeeping that we're always gotta do this. These live streams are available because my Patreon helps me keep this channel running. If you enjoy this, and you enjoy the channel, and you want to see more live streams, and you want more of these requests, things you want me to practice, think about going over to Patreon. There's 700-800 videos ready to go on there as soon as you sign up, and that's for the smallest tier. The $5 tier gets you 700-800 instructional videos and settings and tones and all kinds of stuff. If you join at the $25 a month tier, you get to join our weekly live masterclass on Zoom. I host that on a call. You can chat with me, play guitar, and hang out, and we do a weekly live masterclass. Be doing that tonight at 6:30 Eastern, and we usually run for about 2 hours. So where was I at? The Patreon allows me to take the time to do these, and then I'll be doing the masterclass tonight on Patreon. The other bit of housekeeping, thank you for letting me walk you through the schedule. I'll probably do that same kind of thing on Instagram maybe later in the week. And that's all. That information is at woodshedguitarexperience.com. Come hang out with us. Going to have a great time. Amazing event. Super proud of the players that we've got coming. Really unbelievable. And then I just posted, if you don't mind, a video on YouTube that is a walkthrough of building my first amp with Daniel Klein from Port City. You don't have to watch that video if you don't want to, but please click on the link and think about using that GoFundMe. Daniel's been battling brain cancer and tumor removal and some serious stuff. And so if you have a couple of bucks, think about just throwing it in into that GoFundMe that Daniel has going. That's on the new I built my first amp video. Think about checking that out. If you don't have the extra money, I understand. I get that. Just share that link of the GoFundMe to your social medias. Let's help be a good community. One of the things that I want to, if nothing else, I just want to be a spoke in the wheel of the guitar community and help propel the good energy and support forward. I think the guitar community sometimes can be guilty of a little gatekeeping. I think we can be guilty of a little envy and jealousy and a little too much hatred towards pettiness. So I'm trying to perpetuate the support aspect and getting this community to be a little more positive. And I think that starts with taking care of each other. Daniel is a pillar of amp manufacturing. Port City amps are incredible, and so those amps have been on some of the biggest stages in the world. Think about going over there to Daniel's GoFundMe. It's Port City amps and all that stuff. So let's have a good hang tonight. All you Patreon members, that'll be at 6:30 Eastern. We'll be doing it on Zoom, and I'll post the link on the Patreon clipboard wall as usual. And we'll go from there. And I hope you guys have a great day. Be blessed. We'll see y'all real soon.